Okay, everyone, thanks for being here tonight. As I was saying, my name is Siobhan. I am your host tonight for our July edition. We've got like summer vibes, which means people are kind of all over the place. I have an AC on because I'm in New York. It's very loud. Forgive me. And if you're like, Siobhan, that's too loud, I can like also turn it off. Because I'm tough like that, you know? If you would like to drop into the chat where you're joining us from, any just like vibes, good vibes. We love to see those as we kind of get this warmed up for you today. What we do here is we showcase two voice actors and talk a little bit about their lives and about their home studio spaces. And it's a really wonderful opportunity to learn from people who are doing stuff. Yes, Salem, Massachusetts, Minneapolis, and Brooklyn. Yes, Carla, it's great to see you. So how we do this is I'm gonna kind of do a little talky with our special guests, and then we'll open it up to any questions in the chat that you guys want to pop into them. Again, I like to keep my questions in the chat just because it sort of simplifies, the potential chaos of the unmute buttons. This is a free event, meaning we are welcoming everyone into the space, meaning that we are trusting y'all to be nice. If you don't want to be nice, we don't really want you in here. This is what we're here to do, is build community and spread kindness and positive energy in the challenges and the isolation of being a voice actor. We have had situations before, and I have trusted my fellow my community members to be like, hey, Siobhan, somebody is acting the fool in the chat. So that being said, though, I don't think that's going to happen here tonight. And for your viewing pleasure, you can watch this. Your view button in your top right corner, if you're on a desktop, will give you view. You can do speaker or gallery. The gallery allows you to see everybody. However, I will be guiding you a little bit by spotlighting our special guests. So you'll have a kind of curated experience through me tonight. In addition, the chat is where we communicate, where we love jokes, we love puns. Jokes, again, not at the expense of other people, just like a good joke we're here for. You know what I'm saying? We love links to resources. We love questions. Questions for our guests tonight about their setup and how they do things. If this is all so new to you that you're overwhelmed, we are here to make you feel better about that feeling. So, Ohana's got literal jokes. Okay, what do you call it? What do you call it when a cow has a baby? A baby cow? I think? A holy cow? I don't know. Okay, so with that being said, what else do I have to say to you? Okay, here at Edge Studio, let me get in on some things. Since you are here, we do have a coupon code, which is show and tell. And you have to spend a minimum of something like a consult or, for a digital audio workstation or a home studio consult, or you could buy a collection of classes. But if you spend $175 here at Edge and you use the coupon code show and tell, it gives you money off. The code, how much is this code for? I actually don't know. Cool. So I am rock and roll here tonight. So anyway, go forth and enjoy and tell me what that is for. If you are like, oh my gosh, I am still feeling lost in the world of home studio, or that way in this moment, we always recommend private coaching. So if you're feeling the spirit, your home studio consultation with Art Bruder is what we recommend you do. Get a one-on-one to really deal with your personal, space and situation. That's what we ultimately recommend. And then finally, this weekend, if you haven't gotten in on it yet, we are James Andrews' Everyday versus Luxury VO class is sold out, but his Key to Commercial, which is the 11 a.m. Eastern. I see you West Coast people. That's 8 a.m. You can get in on that. You can start your day right with James Andrews this Saturday, the 23rd, to get you focused on your commercial auditions. I said lastly, and I lied actually. So we do have Investigate Voiceover. That's our class to get you started on your voiceover journey. I have started teaching them. Hell yeah. So oops, I'm cursing already. Decaffeinated. Oh, wow, Ohana. Okay. Jokes are good. I'm teaching the in-person class in August in New York. So come join me in person and let's get you started on your voiceover journey. All right. I have spent a lot of time just talking myself, and I know you all love to hear my voice. But I have two charming and delightful voice actors to hold space with us tonight. And we just had a fun talk about our names, all of our names. None of us tonight have a name in the English language, so that's pretty rock and roll. And so we spent a lot of time just talking about how to say our names. But with that, I want to bring our first guest forward, and I'm gonna do this little thing, which is to intro Marcelo. And I won't let you feel totally alone. I'm gonna be here with you in the spotlight. And Marcelo, I'm wondering if you can just give us a little info on who you are and how you got into voiceover. Like, what's going on?
Sure, of course. So, hi everyone. My name is Marcelo Flores. I'm 29 years old. I'm out in LA County. I got into acting at a really young age. My mom had me and my brother do uh, not audition, that as well, but acting classes. So I was exposed to that a lot growing up. But voiceover was something that really stood out to me in a lot of animated TV shows and Disney movies as a kid. And it had always been in the back of my mind through elementary school, high school, college. I'm a registered nurse. I have my master's degree in nursing. I've been a nurse for about 3 years now, so I work out at USC Keck and Norris. And then actually, when I took my first steps into voiceover was a little before the pandemic in 2019, actually 18, the end of it. I was just looking up voiceover classes, interested in it. I want to know more. I want to jump into it. And then I found Edge Studio. I did the Investigate class that Siobhan mentioned, and I remember I worked night shift at the hospital then. So I went after work. It's like 9 in the morning. I'd been up for almost 24 hours and was I did the class. I loved it, and then literally COVID happened a little while later, and then finally at one point I decided let me get back to it and started private coaching lessons with Jay Snyder. Love him. He's so cool. And since then, I have two demos. I have a commercial demo and a animation demo. Um, Done a lot of auditions, and at this point, I finally have my first uh, work experience, which was an audiobook for it's called Metaverse 101 by the Metageeks. It's basically a nonfiction book about NFTs, virtual reality, and all that stuff.
When did
Sorry,
you?
that was a mouthful.
No, glorious. When did you book this gig, Marcelo?
So I had booked it in the end of May this year, and I auditioned for it in February. And it was so funny because when I booked it and they reached out to me, I thought to myself, I don't even remember auditioning for this, or I didn't even know it was an audiobook. I think I remember the job description just had the script. It might have said Metaverse 101, but no idea it was an audiobook. Never had really trained for that, but I said this is my first chance of anything, so I just went for it and it worked out.
I love it. I actually own an Oculus Quest, and the metaverse. There's a future there, and potentially, I think, a larger future of voiceover in
Mhm.
that world. Also, we have a lot of like hollers at people in the medical administration industry, lactation consultant working in a hospital in
Oh,
LA,
nice.
an LPN working in New York. There's a yeah, okay, this is great, and we got VR fans. Rosalind, we should be friends in the VR world. Okay, this is awesome. Mini golf rules. We should all hang out. Okay, so um, this is great. Marcelo, I know you're going to guide us through your space on your phone. I did make your phone a co host.
Okay, awesome.
So I think we're ready. If you're feeling ready,
Sure.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna, this is what I'm gonna do. I think I'm going to, I make a spotlight. Maybe you turn your phone on and then I can spotlight it. I think that's how it's gonna work.
Okay, 1 second. I'll let me mute myself here.
Great. Anticipation.
Okay.
Okay, Marcelo, we are getting feedback.
One second.
And now
Okay, how about now?
no, but I can't hear you anymore.
Is now better?
Yeah. Are people feeling
Okay.
better?
Yeah. I don't know why I just mute my laptop and that somehow fixed it.
Hey, you know what? We don't need to understand it all.
Okay. So I'm in my room and now I'm going to go to where my studio is, which is basically this. It's a weird design, but my room has like a little closet. And so in here is my recording booth. So I'll step back a bit. So I have some acoustic panels on the door behind it. And then you could see I have moving blankets on the side. And underneath it is also some acoustic panels. And I have it on most of the walls. I don't have it on the ceilings, but I have some back here as well. I don't have acoustic panels back there. They're kind of expensive. Well, not too expensive, but you need a lot of them. Okay, can everyone still hear me?
Yeah, you're clear.
Okay, so now I'm inside. I close the door behind me. And actually, let me open it so I can show you guys this a little better. So here's my stand.
Go a little slower, Marcelo. Just
Okay, sorry about that. So
pan, pan.
here's my stand. And I also have a Rode NT1 microphone with a pop filter and the shock mount. And right now I have this lamp on, but whenever I'm recording, I usually close the door all the way because I want it closed. And then I have these little lights so I can see my script a lot better in the dark. And it looks kind of like that. I also have a Presonus audio interface. For those that don't know, this is used so that way when you record from an external microphone, meaning a microphone that's not plugged into your laptop via USB, this Presonus audio interface will transmit the audio data, whatever that you're saying, from the mic to this guy, and then this plugs into a laptop through a USB. So that way you get a better sound, all that jazz. I also have some fabric in here because fabric helps absorb sound. So I have my leather jacket, some clothes. Sometimes I have more. I have some scrubs that I don't use anymore on the floor over here just to, absorb more sound. Sure, why not? But in essence, this is where my magic happens. And the room's evolved over the past few months. It works, does the job, and yeah, that's my room.
It looks wonderful in there. It looks really good. It's like I'm curious. This is a common question, but I'm curious about it. How's the temp? Is it boiling?
It does get boiling. And as a matter of fact, when I recorded for that audiobook, which was 12 chapters long, and it was a narration, so I read the whole book. So I had to take a lot of breaks because I don't have a fan in there. I probably can get one, but luckily I just have to open my door and step out a bit, and it's a lot cooler in here. I would say I can go in for record for a good 30 minutes, and then I start to sweat a little, especially now during summertime.
Yeah. Um, Marcelo from CC, what is holding your blankets up?
So, oh, good question. So I had to get crafty, and let's see if you can see it. I have these hooks that I had to drill into the wall. You can see it's kind of like it it drills in, and that way I just cut a hole into the moving blankets, so that way I can hang it up on the wall. I think it's something I got from YouTube. But
Yeah,
yeah, so yeah.
standard. Yeah, that looks great. That looks great. Any other questions for people about um, Marcelo's space right now? I like that. So, do you Do you have a certain amount of clothes that you keep in there, or are you just like whatever randomly I put in?
It's been whatever I randomly put in.
Yeah.
As you can see, it is kind of small. So if I put too much clothes in there, like on the right side, because I stand in that spot. So if a lot of auditions I've done where it's a character and I get really animated, I move around a little, or that energy. I use a lot of energy, so I try not to have things I accidentally bump into. But I would say I have like 3 things on the hanger and 4 pairs of scrubs on the floor.
How about your shelf from Carla? Was that already in the closet?
Yeah, so that's already part of the closet. Um, so it's kind of useful at the same time. Sometimes I wish it didn't have it, but it is useful. It's where I put my, I should have said before. So this is where I usually have my laptop. I have that on my table because that's where I have the Zoom going on with you guys. But this is where I would have my laptop. And this was originally already with the apartment.
Do you have to do any room noise adjustments?
Um, what do you mean by adjustments? Do you mean like uh, when I edit things in the production part when I after I've recorded?
Yes.
um, typically, not really. The only thing let me rephrase that. Some things I may have to adjust is if an airplane goes by. Um, I won't amplify things so much. But when I listen back to my auditions, I make sure like, oh, like I don't hear no dogs barking. Or as I'm auditioning with the headphones on, I make sure I have it on a setting where it's when I record, I hear myself, but I can also hear things outside if they just happen to be really loud. So, for example, an airplane or cars or motorcycles zooming by. So if I hear that, I won't keep that recording. Um, but most things, noise adjustments afterwards, I just use Audacity's, oh, what is it called? I use it all the time. The noise reducer, I think. There's an effect button you click on there that reduces some of the noise. That's what I use.
Do you keep water nearby during recording to hydrate and clear your voice? And where do you put that water?
I do. I usually have water that's I just put it down on the ground. Actually, this is where I put it. I've been thinking of buying like a little stand to put it on. That's another thing that I could benefit from is a stool. Because when I recorded for the audiobook, I just stood the whole time. So, but yeah, that's where I usually put my water down there.
You stood for the audiobook reading?
And I also don't have a Kindle, so I just read it off my phone because there's no way I was printing out um, 12 chapters of a script.
Oh my God. And you don't have an iPad?
No, I don't have an iPad, nothing.
Okay. All right. We got real beginner stuff going on here. I mean, definitely. No, I mean, this is the thing when people are like, how do I want to know like how people start out. Like you start out in a lot of different ways and investing in that stuff all at once is a lot. So you make
Yes.
do, but definitely
Mhm.
obviously iPads or Kindles are wonderful things. Uh,
Yes.
because reading off of your phone is less pleasant. I would say, dang, that's badass. Okay, so yeah, I've got a person asking, and I don't currently have any suggestions about how to hang moving blankets without having to drill holes in the wall. Like Marcelo, like
Mm,
was there any other way you would have done that?
I I don't think so. I mean, I know we all know about those command strips, but unless those are heavy enough, which I doubt because these moving blankets are pretty, they can be pretty heavy. You could see when I have one that's, again, I bought 2 of them or 3 of them and I did a lot of cutting. So here's one for the whole left side of the wall. So that's pretty heavy. So I don't think any command strips will work. I think I did remember trying to find something, a way to do it without drilling a hole, but
Wow.
um,
Yeah.
that's what I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sorry I don't have an answer.
I mean, that's a really difficult question. Do you have a problem with the paper making noise when you record? How is the
Um,
paper attached to the stand? Is it just on a music stand that just kind of sits there?
yeah, so it's on a music stand. I'm just gonna move quick for a sec, but so I'm gonna remove all the papers and you can see it. This is actually a stand for laptops. You can kind of see how I could peel this off, but I keep it on because I have paper on there. Otherwise, the paper is going to stick. So you can see there's like a little thing here for my pen to make notes as I'm when I audition. Just the paper just rests there, and I have the lights. It's this clip thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There's so they clip on. Um,
Yeah,
and
and
then
so
yeah, keep going. Sorry.
oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know. I think you said that someone asked about paper making a noise.
Yeah.
Thankfully, no, I won't have to move my paper so much. Um, but the beautiful thing about recording stuff is, say I'm recording, I'm in the zone, so I turn the page and then I continue. I can just, edit out the part of the recording that has the noise of the paper and whatever.
Do you have plans for a fan or like because Thomas is saying you said you had plans for a fan, plans for reducing the noise other than using noise reduction on the DAW. Um, are you thinking about like additional noise reduction foam? Or this is kind of a good question, I guess, in terms of what are some future goals for this space?
Future goals would be starting off would be a stand for my water, but also I do think I want to get a little because I don't want a fan for while I'm recording. I know they make like these fans that have no noise. They cost a lot of money, but I'm just gonna get a fan that can clip onto my stand, or I just have it up there and I can just turn it on whenever. Because in between recording, sorry, in between recording when I'm listening back to things, I can just have the fan on, have the door open. When I'm making my notes, getting into character, and then when I'm ready, just turn the fan off. So that's probably the next big thing I would add in. Oh, and then a stool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And is this a closet in your bedroom?
Yes, it's a closet in my bedroom. It's like I mentioned, it's kind of weird that I have another closet, but it's not suitable for this. But you can see how this is the ground level, and then it's like a hobbit can live in there or something. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a closet.
And a Spider-Man. So where do you keep your clothes then?
So now you can see more of my home instead of the home studio, but I keep it in uh, my clothes in here, and then I have other stuff.
Hell yeah. All right. Okay. That's a dream room situation. There's like two clothing options. I love that.
Truthfully, yeah. And I think I saw just randomly one question a while ago. Someone asked, "Do I only do audiobooks?" Um, Actually, audiobooks is again, I just happened to get the role. I didn't even realize that's what I auditioned for because it wasn't in the description. I auditioned for almost anything, commercials, video games, TV shows, e-learning. Corporations have their own orientation videos. I have an account on voices.com and Backstage where they invite you to a variety of different auditions based on your voice style, age range, etc. And my dream is doing things like video games, animation, anime, um, things like that. If I could do that or be in a Disney movie, oh my God, I would love it.
You are on your way, Marcelo. Keep going, y'all. I know we have more questions for him. We will come back to him. Don't worry. But in this moment, I just want to express gratitude for this awesome presentation and this beautiful closet space for voiceover. Thank you so much, Marcelo. Thank you.
Thank you.
And all right, amazing, amazing. So, we have our second guest here with us this evening, Shmuel, who joins us. I mean, it's a party. Kids, anytime somebody hangs out at 3 a.m., it's a party. Because it is 3 a.m. where he is. So in the same way, I just want to keep it rolling and with as much energy as you can muster. Y'all, I just want to say the space is totally freaking rad because we have had a woman join us from France, and now we've got a gentleman from Israel, and I'm just really pumped that you are with us tonight, and or whatever time it is for the rest of y'all at this point. I did mention, it's a positive space. If you want to have a little bevy, you're welcome to. If you want to hydrate, you're welcome to. However you rock and roll. Shmuel, tell us everything. How are you doing? How did you get started in voiceover? We want to know.
Well, my story is that I was born and brought up in Los Angeles, where Marcelo is. And my dad was a catering truck driver, and I used to go to work with him. And he would turn on AM radio, and I would listen to all the announcers, and I would try to imitate them on all these stations on KFI and KBC and KFWB News 98 and all these things. And I was also into acting when I was in high school. Fast forward to my adult life, I was an engineer, got married, had children. And then I got back into acting later, and everyone said, you've got a great voice. That's what happens to everybody. And then Corona hit, and then like everyone realized, maybe I could do some work at home. And I did some research, and I quickly found a few people. I found many of you might have found this fellow David H. Lawrence, the 17th. He gave me some advice, and I bought an Audio-Technica USB 2020 Plus microphone, which doesn't need an interface. And I built a little booth. I'm not going to show you the whole booth, but it has several panels. So I did one front panel, a top panel, and two side panels with the pyramids, and it worked. And I put some mattresses on the back wall, and I did a couple recordings, and it worked. And I started to get a few gigs from voiceover. And because my voice is the way it is, I was primarily with corporate guides and things like that. I have a big thing with a company called K2View that deals with big data. And so I'm talking about big data with K2View, where you can go into something and get all your data and the information in one place, like that. Okay. So it was a natural for me, although I would love to do a character work. And in fact, this is something interesting, doesn't have anything to do with my space, but I've done my own projects just on my own to make my own samples. And that is something that could be a good idea, I think, for everyone to do. And what I did was that I took an existing commercial or a piece of a movie, and I worked on it in an editor. I used Power Director, and I took off the audio, and I did my own voice, and then I got some music, and I put that on there, and then some background effects. And next thing you know, and I have me voicing. 1 second, let me. Do you okay, no, okay, so I'm not going to do that anyway. So I'll put my website in the chat, and in the website,
Marcelo, you are sorry, Shmuel, you can share.
Yeah, but it told me that I stop your
It's my fault. I was hogging it. You can do it now.
Okay, here we go. One, no, oh, here we go, share. There you go. Is it sharing?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I did this over here, and I did the voice of Mr. Huff in Incredibles. I mean, this is my own project. I mean, I didn't work for Disney, so because I could do that voice, and so it's my private thing, and I'm not violating copyright because I'm not publishing it. So it could be worthwhile for some of you guys to do your own projects. I did my own project with the tides. I did my own project with the recycling, my own project with NASA. And then people go down there, potential customers, they don't know you didn't really do it. And so like that. Okay, so now let me just put my stuff here, a little history of myself here. And now I'm going to go over the my room. One thing I want to show you is now Marcelo said he had a problem with blankets. Now what I did was, if you take a look at the back wall here, I put on, they're like dormitory mattresses. And I'll show you. I hope you guys can still hear me. So what I did over here was that I put a hook here, another one here, here, and over there. And I have these elastic, like rubber bands, not the elastic things, big things. And all I can do is I can take this down, and I don't need it anymore. If I want to use, if I want to have the white wall for, like, let's say auditions, I'm also an on-screen actor. And when I want to put it back, I just put it back. And everybody's happy. Takes me a couple minutes to do that. And in the end, it was very easy to do. All I had to do was, I had to put some hooks in the wall, but that's all right. It's my house. I could do what I want. So, so that was one thing I did. Let's see. So where I get VO jobs mainly is from referrals from what I've done previously. Although people have done an internet search and they have found my website. This is my VO part of my acting website. So I have here a demo that I did with Edge, and my narration demo that I did with Edge. And I did one here in the local language here, Hebrew. And these are some of the projects, as I mentioned, that I've done before. Now, let me get into the equipment here. I started with a room that had nothing in it. So I knew I had to do things. So I did a lot of search on the internet. And one of the things I found was these panels. These are acoustical panels that I can move and put anywhere. I got 4 of them. I put one here, put one here. On the other side, over here, I put one here.
Shmuel.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I just want to blow up when you're sharing your screen, you're quite small, and I want to watch you in your space.
Okay.
Yeah, can we pause your share screen while you do this? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Keep it going.
Right. Okay. And now I've got these 4 panels that help a lot and reduce a lot of the echoing here. So that helps a great deal. This out of the way. That helps a great deal. And then, of course, I have to turn off the fan. I don't know if you hear it. That quiets things down a great deal. Close the door, but now for the demo, I don't have to close the door. Turn off the fridge in the hallway, turn off the air conditioner. And when I record, it's okay while I'm recording. Then, now, okay, here's one thing that really bothered me. How do you know that your space is good? Well, I've discovered so far 3 tools that I'm using. One, obviously, is your own ear. If you hear all this echo, well, you know, it's not good. Another one is a relatively simple tool, and I use Audacity. And with Audacity, they have a lot of help there. You go on their website, and they have what is called an ACX check, Now, for those of you who don't know, ACX is a company that does audiobooks. It's like the General Motors of audiobooks. There's a lot, they do a lot. And they have their certain standards. And you can use that plugin in Audacity to check. And one of the things they check is your background noise. And your background noise has to be below 60, minus 60 decibels. So if your background noise is that low, that's pretty good. So I use that, I record something, and then I put it through the ACX check. And if the background noise is less than minus 60, then I know I'm in good shape. So that's another way of doing that. So I added this, I added the panels, and then that wasn't good enough. So then I put a towel on my table. And then I got a carpet on the floor. We have hard tile floors here. There was still a little echo. I talked to an acoustic guy who got me the panels, and he suggested ceiling panels. So I said, okay. And so I added 2 ceiling panels there. These just hang down, and that's it. I just attach them to the ceiling. Here, that's I could take down a blue screen when I do some auditions or on-screen work. And then the third tool is a professional ear. So I was doing the demos with Edge, and I sent in a sample file to Kevin over there in Edge. And I got it back from Kevin, and he says, no, I hear a little echo, and I hear a little like a motor noise. I'm saying, what's going on? He said, well, it's got to be my laptop. So what I did was I took my laptop, and this is really low tech, and I put it in a little cubicle on the side. Where is it? I'm trying to navigate. Oh, here we go. And I covered it with a pillow. My laptop is there behind the pillow. Oops. I don't know if you could barely see it. And I drilled holes in the back of the cubicle to give it some ventilation so the laptop doesn't melt down. That made a big difference. But then he still heard some echo. So, well, what's a guy to do? And I was using an Audio-Technica 4040 right here. So then I was talking to Shannon. I don't know if you know Shannon, one of the people who works at Edge, and she mentioned, wow, it could be a reflection from the screen itself. Of course, I'm talking to you guys here, and everyone has a screen somewhere over here, over there, I don't know where. And then I said, wait a second, I remember seeing this thing called an eyeball by a company called Chaotica with a K. And they said that it completely eliminates your need to do an acoustic space. And I said to myself, as soon as I saw that, I went, but maybe it'll help a little bit. So I went and I bought an eyeball, but not from Chaotica, from an off-band, because Chaotica charges a lot of money. And here is an eyeball. What it is just a foam ball, and they dig it out so you can put your microphone in. I added this little slot here, so it will hold. And I thought, you know what, maybe that'll help. So I added it to my microphone holder here. And so now with a pop filter here, I sit down right here and I did another recording, and lo and behold, Kevin approved it. The echoing was gone, and everyone was happy. So let me switch over to my equipment over there. Hopefully, you guys. Do you still hear me from here? You should hear me from the microphone. Is that right?
Yeah, you sound good.
So there you go. So that's the big difference right there. So let me. I don't know if I have to share the screen or if I just want to show you. I think Siobhan told me a lot of you folks would like to find out how much all of these toys cost me. So let me just share briefly again, and I will show you how much it cost me here. Share.
Here we go. Do you see it?
Yeah, can you zoom a little bit? Yeah, can you use where the dial is? Yeah.
Oh, here we go. All right. Now, there are many places you could order these things. I was learning VO with James Andrews. A lot of people learn with James Andrews. Great guy. He and I have a lot of some very good chemistry. So he sent me to Sweetwater over in Indiana. And the AT4040 that you just saw right here cost me about this $360. The previous one, the USB 2020, was cheaper. It was $260. Sometimes I use it when I want to do online sessions. I'm actually an online Santa Claus also. Can you believe it? And I can show you my Santa Claus beard in the closet, but that's a different topic.
You're Santa Claus in Israel?
No, I sit here, but I do it for customers in North America.
Oh
because
my God.
I've got the personality and I've
Oh
got
my
the look.
God. That is, I love that though. It's like, where does Santa live, Mom and Dad?
Oh no, it's like Father Levine, Rabbi Fitzgerald, Hey, cultural appropriation. Yeah, but they're paying me the big bucks. Okay, all right. My Focusrite interface, which I didn't show you guys yet, but this is I have a Scarlet 2i2 interface, and I'm using this right now. So if anything that gets disconnected, we're in trouble. And that was about $300. Now it was more expensive than it is in the US, but I wanted to get it from someone here. The eyeball wasn't that expensive, $75. I got a tripod on the side here. Yeah, I think you saw the tripod at $20. Pop filter, $8. Audacity is free. I also do a few things with Reaper, and Reaper is also a DAW, and Reaper is much, much stronger as a DAW than Audacity, and it's very, very flexible, but it's got a tough learning curve. So I'm doing it kind of slowly. And the reason I went to Reaper also, aside from its being powerful, and that it has a one-time lifelong license fee of $60, not a lot of money. I have a laptop, and Intel i7 I have for my day job. Each one of these panels that I mentioned here, they were on the expensive side. They cost like $130 a piece, but they're portable. So if I need to move to a different room, no problem. The acoustical panels on the ceiling that I think I showed you guys. Did I show you? Yeah. We're about $150 a piece. These mattresses we had in the house anyway, so it didn't really cost me. The carpets were 2 throw carpets, $90 a piece. The curtains, I didn't mention the curtains. I beg your pardon. Okay, so there's 2 things you need to do in your space. You have to reduce the echoing in your space, and you have to isolate from the outside. Marcelo mentioned dogs barking and things like that. So what I did was that I closed the blinds, the external blinds. I added some very large panels, not the small panels like this, but very large panels, and they're stuck in the window. And then I added the curtains. Now you guys have seen curtains, so I don't have to show you my curtains, I think. But they weren't expensive. They were $30 for expensive. Now another cool thing here. I don't know if you noticed, but I mentioned, as I mentioned, I'm also an on-screen actor, and I needed to store some clothes. And so I put just a rod, a curtain rod. And I connected it, and I drilled it into the ceiling, and I've got some clothes there that I use for various things. And many people say that one of a wonderful acoustical space, and we saw it with Marcel as well, is a closet with clothes in it. So I have these clothes, and so that helps me also with the acoustics. Towel on the table, took it from the closet. Now, there's something else that's interesting here. I'm sitting on a regular office swivel chair. You don't hear it so much, but when I record, every time I do this or that, it goes, and it could ruin the recording. So I got myself from IKEA another stool. I sit on the stool and put the office chair in the back, and that stool is like $50 or something like that. And that's pretty much it. What I use for my space. I can stand up if I want. Just put the tripod like that, and I stand up, but I'll go off screen. And I have my software over here on this screen, and I have my text source over here, and I record here, and I could come in very closely and record and say close things. Oh, Jeep, there's only one. So things like that, and I could go farther away. And let's see. What else do I say? I have notes here. I've got a couple of nice voiceover resources for Facebook. I'm going to stop sharing now. And I've noticed that the voiceover community is very helpful. And, that's exactly what we're doing right now, actually. So here, I'm going to send you to Mark Preston's group in Facebook. Very nice fellow, professional fellow. He can help. And there's another group that I know that gives you advice about booth building. So all of that is in the chat right now, or both of those things are in the chat. So. Oh, yes.
I'm also
one more thing, hydration. I do have water while I work right here. Make sure I'm hydrated. And sometimes if it's extended, I'll have apple slices. I saw that on somebody mentioned it somewhere. I tried it, apple slices. Wow, it really helps. It reduces all the extra, moisture in the mouth. It makes things crisper. So for me, it helped. Oh, there you go.
Yes, I've just dropped all of Shmuel's gear. Both of these gents were wonderful in letting me know the stuff that they thought was of value to just know what they've got going on in their spaces. And it was so wonderful to see your space. At some point, Shmuel, Dominic said, gave you a really wonderful, he is quite the personality. I love him. And I just think that is a true testament. And so thank you. Thanks for sharing your space with us. Again, it's wonderful.
Okay, great. Oh, Tom asked for a ho, ho, ho. Okay. Hi, Tom. Hi there, Tom.
That is so kind. You don't know if you saw, but I was like, hey, he's donating his time tonight. I'm not going to ask an actor to work. But we got it. That was so good. So y'all, we have a few minutes left. I thought I would bring both Marcelo and Shmuel back into the space to kind of handle any more questions. Obviously, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that people are saying that this has been encouraging. And yeah, but if there's any other questions or thoughts, we can drop them in the chat that I can direct to both of them. I do want to start with Shmuel. We talked a little bit with Marcelo about what some of his goals are for the space would be, and I'm wondering what your next goals for your space are.
Ooh, that's a good question. I want to advance more in voiceover. I would like to do yes, I'm on Instagram. I'm looking at the chat, and I just want to do more and more. What I want to find out is my niche, where I'm really, really commercially viable. And it's starting to sound like it would be corporate narration, but I'm not sure. I would like to continue to do my own projects and to show people what I can do. I'm on Backstage. I'm on Mandy. I have an agent. Listen to this. I have Duygu Besara is my agent in Istanbul, Turkey. And yeah, and they were looking for people who are English and Hebrew speakers. I said, you know what, you're Turkish, you're looking for Hebrew speakers? And they said, yeah. So that's one of my agents. And so I want to expand in that direction to my own projects. And of course, everyone wants to get into animation and things like that. And so do I. And so But I've done a couple animation projects, and I've done some private things. People came to me and they say, "Oh yes, we'd like you to do Mickey Mouse for us." That'd be great. And I said, "I don't know if I could do Mickey Mouse, but I could try." So anyway, and they paid me for it. So I just want to go in that general direction. I'm not so sure. One thing in the space is that I'm considering doing something to the door more than what it is right now, because I have to turn off the air conditioner and the refrigerator in the hallway, and the wife doesn't always like that. So otherwise they get a lot of noise from the outside. So that's another thing with this space. And let's see, and that's pretty much it. Oh, my goal, another goal is I want to be able to do it in the local language here. Now, I came here when I was 21. I don't know if anybody over here speaks more than one language, but when you don't speak the language in your childhood, you still have a little kind of an accent, and I've been trying to get it down, but it's not quite gone yet. And so I had an audition to do talk about a movie for the weekend, but I didn't quite do it, and I had to say, "Adama Bukhirat, Yom Khamishi Bavate Kuloa," and which means the ground is burning Thursdays at theaters. And it was, next time I do it, I'll get it. So someone asked, how did I come across an agent in Turkey? I found that agent on Backstage. They advertised on Backstage, and I sent it in, and they accepted me. I am on, let's see, I didn't give my thing on Facebook. So yes, I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. Here, let me give you my Facebook here. Here's my Facebook. I want to get it to everyone because
Yeah, amazing. Drop that in the chat, and I'm gonna
right there.
pop another question to both of you, and we'll start with Marcelo first. I am curious, Marcelo, about what sometimes people struggle with the word proud, which is fair, and so then maybe I'll say favorite. Like, what thing are you most proud of, or what is your favorite thing about your space as it exists now?
Favorite thing about my space. I just think that I'm very lucky to have the foundation of a closet. Like, it's just perfect enough where, I didn't add all that much to it. Like with Shmuel's storage, Shmuel's room has a lot of cool stuff. For me, I wish I had that stuff too. But thankfully, since it's a closet, it's already got that, and it has carpet in it already. So I just had to add a few things like the panels, moving blankets, the door closes. So I'm just really happy, and my favorite thing is just that it's this lucky space in my room that I didn't have to build something, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Aside from drilling holes in the wall for my moving blankets.
Hey, but that's still a commitment. You drill those holes in it. You're like, I'm doing this. It's for real. Yeah. Shmuel, what about you? What's your favorite thing, or the thing you're most proud of, or something that you are proud of about your space right now? I do love, and other people do love, your versatility and how you just move stuff around to make it work for all of your performance talents. But anything in particular?
Well, you nailed it. I think the versatility. There it is. I could take those mattresses down off the wall, and I could have a white space behind me if I need to do an audition with a white space. I could roll down the blue screen, and gonna have a blue screen background to do an audition or the Santa that I mentioned. So that's what I really like is the versatility. Also, people, I do on-screen acting, and I get to talking on the set, and then they hear me, and I like to play around, and I tell them I've been told that I sound like Wallace Shawn, the fellow from Princess Bride, who's Vizzini, and he says, "That's inconceivable. Do you realize that if you do a voiceover over here, that's right, that's what's going to happen?" And so I went into his animated stuff, and so I did things like that. And so people could get to talking to me and say, well, can you do this? Can you do that? Next thing you know, I'm getting referrals. And I'm recording right here at home. I don't have to go into the studio in the middle of town. And so that's what I'm proud of also.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's everybody, we all have different needs as creatives, as artists, as like people who are also nurses, people who are living in the world. And so making it work for you. And that's why we always say at the Ask Me Anythings and in general, it's like there's so much that like it depends because you've got to make it work for you and your life and your world and the people you live with, what makes the wife unhappy or happy about your space. It's also important. There was
Everyone's got his own niche.
It's true. We niche down our niches and niches, as it were. Marcelo, there was a question about how you were hanging the foam on your door. Would you mind?
Yes. So I have this at one sec. Let me just grab it. So it's this. So when I ordered the foams, they provided this tape that it's double-sided. So you have to cut it to take a piece off. But or I just ripped it, but usually I cut it. So it's hard to do, but you have to peel it. So usually I stick it onto the one side of the foam that I'm going to stick to the wall, and then I peel the other side. It's kind of hard to do, so it did take a while. So I peeled it, and then that way I can just slap it on the wall, and then they stick. I just have to put a lot of pressure. So nothing too crazy. Didn't have to buy any extra equipment. It's just that's all I used.
Amazing. Yes, you do little push-ups first for a couple weeks, so you have really good pressure.
Yes.
A little bit of upper body strength. Amazing. If not, call Shmuel, import him from Israel. He'll come help you out. Y'all, this is so wonderful. I'm so grateful to be able to share this space with you. It's a super special. I honestly just I feel very lucky to be in the voiceover world, which again could be super lonely, but in fact is full of people who are generous and kind and interesting and delightful. And again, I'm going to drop some links in the chat here. Kita commercial, James Andrews, trained Shmuel. Also, I've worked with him myself, and I'm a big fan. He is teaching Kita commercial this weekend, Saturday morning.
I did 2 demos with James.
Yes, 2 demos. That's a lot of time with James, and he's such a ball. He's really just a love. So please, definitely, don't miss out on that class. And if you're also just trying to oh my gosh, my own home studio stresses me out. Someone who is the opposite of stressful is Art Bruder. He is a dream. So you can book a home studio consultation with him. And if you're like, that's a lot of money, well, that's where that code, book a consult with Art and use this code show and tell in order to do so. And with that, I also just want to say, if you want to just drop any love and positive energy into the world, also in particular to these 2 gents, like I said, we spent some time pre-show, as I like to say, just talking about our names, and it brings me great joy to, to just be able to connect the 3 of us with all of you this evening. Shmuel, any final statements?
Yes. There's one thing I forgot. I mentioned there are tools. How do you know your space is good? One, you use your ears. The number 2, I used Audacity. But number 3, tool that I use is a professional ear. So sometimes when I record something and I sent it in, like I said, Kevin rejected it. Then I did some changes, and then he approved it. But still, sometimes it's a problem. For instance, recently I sent in one of the contests, a contest entry to Edge, and I got into 2nd place. It was very nice this time. And when that happens, David gives feedback. And part of his technical feedback was he still heard a little echo. And I was like, what? So maybe I have to look and do something with my echo space. Some of this is subjective, and it would be a good idea, in my opinion, to find someone who can give you that really je ne sais quoi, that extra professional ear. And in some of the Facebook groups, you can find it.
Yeah, it's a very good point about community and maintaining community as much as you can. Marcelo, any closing remarks from you?
Definitely. So like I mentioned when I first introduced myself, I started around 2018 with the Investigate voiceover class. And I remember, this is a message for everyone, but especially those of you who are just starting in voiceover, are interested and don't know what, you should go through it and all that. Believe in yourself. It took a long time for me to get to this point. And for me, that's not, I feel like I haven't gotten that far, but looking back, it's been a cool journey. I have 2 demos. And for that first job I booked, I want to say that was my 210th audition. So it took a lot of auditions, a lot of learning. Like Shmuel said, developing that professional ear and learning how to direct yourself. It took a lot of combination of things, not just the room itself. You can have a great room, but if you don't have the skill and the ear, then it's going to be a great room that records something that is not the best. But don't be discouraged, because there's so many resources out there. And like I mentioned, my coach was Jay Snyder. I did 2 demos with him. So amazing. I learned so much from him. And I definitely plan to continue improving my craft. So for you guys that are in the phase of right now, like, should I go through with it? Maybe I want to do it. I don't know if I want to. Go for it. If you can, do it. Um, if it's a financial thing, try and save for it. If it's something you're scared of, try not to be. And there's a whole community of us to provide support, guidance, laughs, whatever you need. So um, hopefully that sparks the fire in you guys, because um, yeah, I have a dream that I'm going to do. So I want you guys to all follow your dream too.
I feel like that was so awesome. The chat is amazing. Just people talking about like, I'm so, the make or break, like I make it, I can make it. And it really is about doing 200 auditions and still loving yourself and still knowing that that this is your passion and your dream, and that you are worth it. So you got to get in there. You got to get in that sweaty booth and you got to figure it out, and you got to get stressed out and you got to make a plan. And I am so motivated every time I get to have this opportunity. And again, and I just want to say congratulations, we did it. We had an amazing session. We have just love and positivity in the chat, and I'm so grateful. And it is my privilege and pleasure to share this evening with you. And so thanks everyone for being here. We will be back again next month. If you would like to share your space with us, I would love to showcase you. So please let me know. And yeah, we'll see you at James's class this weekend, and we'll see you at all our subsequent free programming to come afterwards. Yes, and follow on the Instagrams. And once more, just a little bit of applause for our people. Thank you all so much.
Smile and wave. Smile and wave.
Thank you.